Howdy folks, how you doing? So we're here again, nice Pennsylvania upstate, and gonna have some fun with some big blades. You see, brought up tons of big blades this weekend. Wanna test them out, of course. First thing, I've been playing with all of them so far. Very pleased with the machetes, gotta say. But also, of course, the war sword, a lot of fun. It is a big blade. You can definitely see that it is more of that fire resemblance. But it does work even for the woodwork, and we're gonna chop some stuff here. What I want to show you first. Let's see how it can handle this. Start with the small stuff. Pine. Let's start with the thin stuff. That isn't really a challenge. Let's jump into the thicker. What is it? Inch and a half maybe. That was nice. Well, let's see if it can go through something thick. I don't think many blades would go through this. This is over 2 inch thick probably. I don't see this going through with one swipe. Didn't miss it by much. Let's see it this way again. About 2 inches here at this point. It broke off. Wasn't clean cut, but not bad. I mean, pretty good cut on the one swipe. That's thanks to that being kind of into the machete like design. Unlike that sword, for example. Let me show you. Let's compare it actually. On the same wood, I have that Kodiak Survival Sword. I mean, this is a lot heavier blade, and it is also shame that I don't have the Excalibur here. That would make a good comparison because that was designed more like a hatchet, unlike more like a machete. So let's see how this one will cope with such a thick piece of wood, a lot heavier blade. Oh, that was a miss. Oh, you see, the weight it does a lot. This is incredible. This is a big piece of wood that this thing can power through. But this is like 30. This is over 2 pounds. My scale couldn't weigh this. I think this is 25, 23. I don't remember exactly. This one is a lot lighter, just a little bit thinner, but a lot lighter. The grind, the geometry should be over the same, except this is a convex. This is a like a full high or a saber. I would probably call it full high grind, flat. But that's incredible. I didn't expect the Kodiak to actually power through this. That is pretty insane. That is a thick piece of pine. Didn't expect that. And let's see some oak, some nice and hard oak. And actually I have some nut here, and I will go right through it. Right here there's a nut in it. I will actually stand up for this and see what I can do with 2 hands, since this is designed to be 2 hand for me. Actually, I think I'm more comfortable with 1 hand. Oh, there is a nice thick piece of dry oak. What is it? 3 inches? Over 3 inches. Sometimes when I hit it, that's the one downside of the long straight blades and lightweight blades. When you hit stuff, when you get to that middle where it actually is 3 inch span, and you hit it dead on, you know, it's like hitting something flat. All the energy splits between the longer area, and it tends to bounce or just doesn't bite as much, and it actually sends back shock more because all that energy splits. Since it doesn't go into the wood and it bounces off and stops, it sends it back a little bit. So it's always good to go around. That's why I always say, even with the tools, it's just better and easier. But there is one downside of the longer blades. But you see, it did handle it pretty nice. And I mean, it has a penetration, very good penetration. Now this is already started from two sides. Oh, there was a miss. It bites deep. Look at that. Oak, dry oak, and it goes almost full height of the blade into the dry oak. So this, I think, 1.5 inch high blade, so that's inch of penetration into the wood. See, it splits that wood nicely, pushed it away, so works well. And I want to see now, when I still feel it in my hand, actually compare it to the Kodiak and just chopping into the hardwood. I want to see if I can see a difference. Maybe because of the grind. I mean, it is unfair. This Kodiak is a lot heavier blade. I don't really feel the difference, but Kodiak is heavier in the hand, a lot heavier. Oh, you have almost what? Half a pound? No. Yeah, you have at least half a pound difference in the weight. Next, I want to see is actually see how it splits, how the Wordsworth splits. I'm gonna try it on some of this oak that I chopped here. Split just like this. Yeah. And I'm curious about this. It's about 3/4 of that split I did. I want to see if it will split this way. Actually, yes. It did split it. Well, it's a regular batoning. This is even bigger, and it has a big nut in it. So let's give it a run for its money. Pretty easy. Let's go right through the nut. It's in on a little angle. There was a big stress point for that blade because it turned through the nut and it started going this way, and then it bent this way in a pretty hard wood, so that blade had to take a pretty decent abuse on that. Pretty decent lateral forces. And it's nothing. Wouldn't really expect anything. All this time that I've been doing these 3V blades, they did help exceptionally. Even chopping into the really hard nuts and stuff like that. Let me see again. I want to see this. Again, the splitting this way. Splits nicely. Now let's see some detail work. If this can somewhat nicely be used. It's not heavy. Feels actually really nice. Like I said in the video, it's actually, because it's light, it's still blade heavy, but it's not that awkward. Even if I choke up on it, balance changes, and it's actually pretty close to my hand, so I don't feel even after work. My hand is tired a little bit. Still don't feel like it would be, like it would get really tiring or awkward to hold it, this blade. And you see it, the geometry is there. You see the chunks it's getting, how deep it can cut into that oak. It's pretty nice actually. Don't forget, it is very hard wood, and it still works like a champ. Let me see something else. Good. Looks pretty nice. That's good. And one more thing I want to show you. Okay, that's enough for this. Some flex test. Hopefully I can stick it in here strong enough to do the flex test. Hey. This is the rotten, super dense wood. Where can I? Here, and I'll just move the camera so you see this from the good angle. See how sweaty I am. It is really hot here. You see that blade, right? Here's a nice flex. It's good. Nice and springy. And this isn't just like abuse test. This actually, if I want to make this big nice, I gotta make sure that they are good. Sometimes it's not your fault, but still have flaws. Actually, if you think about, not if you think about, most of the things that you break, the horror stories you see, when the knife breaks, you know, the factory production knife, it's not really the company's fault. There is no way to check for those things unless it is a bad heat treat. Often it is actually microfractures in the steel. Often that's the case, and there is no way to test it unless they would Röntgen, X-ray every single blade. So that's also why I do this test, because I want to make sure that if I make something and if I'm gonna use it for myself or if I'm gonna sell it, gotta make sure that this thing works. You know, this isn't a small, you know, $100-$200 knife. All of the bigger ones, they are a lot more money. So I want to make damn sure that whatever I make will work the way it's supposed to and will not break because of something that I could have prevented with just a little test like this. And of course it's fun. And what do we have here? Edge looks super clean. No nicks. And let's see which is the most used area here. You see that? Yep, still shaving sharp. And it was, that's a decent amount of work. And I did a lot of work before this video. Not bad war sword. I'll definitely would, if we're talking the big knives, me personally, I would definitely take something like Excalibur over this. But I really like this. I mean, this is a really cool knife, sword, short sword, and it works well even for the woodwork. And just imagine you have a lot of blade spam for splitting. It's cool, it's nice, it feels good in the hand. Let me see this. I want to see one more thing, since we're talking about that. I want to see with two hands, actually no, one hand standing up like this. I want to see. It's kind of bad when it's just laying on the wood. No, I can't. It just doesn't have the mass as a Kodiak and other blades would have. I bet even Excalibur should power through this on one swipe, but this just doesn't have the mass. It's light. It's the same size, same dimensions as Excalibur, but it's actually thinner, narrower, and the thickness makes the difference. This is a lot lighter, so it just doesn't have the mass, but it have the agility. It's nice and easy in the hand, just like I said before. It's kind of like a machete on steroids, on a lot of steroids. So let me know what you think, guys. I think it works well. I mean, it did what it's supposed to do. It performed well, cuts well, splits well, flex is nice. That's a good thing, and I'm happy. Definitely one of the better pieces. I mean, I like all the big blades, so obviously I'm kind of excited that everything's fine and everything's in working order, and I like it and I'm happy. So I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Thank you for watching. Take care, stay safe, and remember, don't cut yourself.